What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to talk about a couple of different things in this video. I haven't uploaded in a while, but I'm back on it now. So I want to start with the NBA because there's a lot going on in the NBA. Just last night, I want to start talking about with the Portland Trailblazers because Damian Lillard, Dame Dollar, just became Portland's all-time leading scorer in his 11th season with the team. And I just wanted to start with that because that's such a huge accomplishment for a guy who's been criticized a lot for his decision to stay in Portland rather than join a team, maybe a super team that would give him a better chance to win a championship. But you have to look at what different guys value in the NBA. Some people value championships more than anything. Some people value the money or the fame that comes with it. And then other people just value staying loyal to a team, kind of like a guy like Giannis, a guy like Dirk Nowitzki, who stayed with their teams, Tim Duncan, who stayed with one team throughout the entirety of their career. Dame Lillard obviously wants to be like one of those guys. And so he chose to stay with the Blazers, and he became the team's all-time leading scorer last night in a game that they actually lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is going to be an All-NBA player this year and should be an All-Star this year. He's been playing out of his mind. He hit a buzzer beater to beat the Blazers after Dame Lillard hit a very clutch reverse layup to tie the game. And it's just a very big accomplishment because for someone who basically came from a very small college, most people don't even know where Weber State is, to come into the league and turn into the player that he's turned into. And you're just hoping that one day, eventually, he can maybe get that big break and make a finals or make another deep playoff run like they did in 2019 when they went to the Western Conference Finals, because Damian Lillard is an insane player. He has no holes in his game, his long range shooting, and he just recently said that Steph Curry is the greatest shooter ever, but by the time I'm done playing, people are going to look at me as the second greatest shooter ever. And that's not that crazy when you think about it. When you think of the type of shots that this guy can hit, the range that he has, I don't know if we've seen a better deep three-point shooter than Damian Lillard. He hits shots from damn near half court and makes it look like it's like a practice shot. The amount of strength that takes to be able to hit shots like that is insane. And so Damian Lillard becoming the all-time leading scorer for the Blazers is such a huge accomplishment. And the Blazers look good this year. If they're going to compete, this should be the year because Anthony Simons is proving to be a rising star in this league. Jeremy Grant has been giving them something after he came over from the Pistons. And they have a young guy in Shaedon Sharpe who's proven to be another guy who could potentially be a very good player one day. And Chauncey Billups seems to know what he's doing in Portland. They were atop of the West earlier in the season, but Damian Lillard did get injured, and that's sort of why they've fallen in the standings. But as he continues to get healthy and as the Blazers continue to try to coexist as one unit, I see them maybe making it back to the top of the Western Conference because if I'm being honest, the West is wide open this year. The Warriors don't look that good. The Lakers obviously don't look that good. Kawhi is on and off again playing with the Clippers. I already ranted about him in one of my other videos. And so you got Memphis, Phoenix, New Orleans, Portland, all those teams, they're going to be thinking that they have a chance to make something happen this year. And if the Blazers want to make that happen, they got to just stay healthy and keep playing the way they're playing, even though they did lose yesterday. So that was the first thing I wanted to start off with the NBA, with Dame and his accomplishment of becoming the Blazers' all-time leading scorer. And the next thing I want to talk about is something else that happened with Nikola Jokic, the reigning back-to-back MVP, who recently against the Charlotte Hornets had a game of 40 points, 27 rebounds, and 10 assists, and he became the first player since Wilt Chamberlain. Him and Wilt Chamberlain are the only two guys that have done this to have I think it's a 40-point triple-double with 20-plus rebounds. Like, that is insane. Jokic puts up video game numbers pretty much every game he's on the court. And it's kind of weird because you don't look at him as a player that should be as dominant as he is. But the Nuggets are also one of those teams that I forgot to mention that they're knocking on the door. They think they can make a finals appearance this year. They have Jamal Murray back, and he looks to be pretty good coming off that ACL injury. And it'll just be seeing what they can do in terms of advancing in the playoffs, because a lot of people have said Jokic would have made more playoff noise if he had his whole roster around him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Denver could do in a playoff in a playoff setting this year. And then you also have to look at teams like Sacramento, who are emerging as not contenders in the West, but they'll maybe be a playoff team this year. And they have the longest playoff drought, I think, in sports right now, not just the NBA, in sports, 16 years without making the postseason. So they'll be looking to snap that this upcoming season. Mike Brown doing a pretty good job in his first year as head coach. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, all those guys playing well. And then just switching over to the Eastern Conference, things are sort of shifting a bit because the Bucks now have the number 1 overall record in the NBA. And I think Giannis just overtook Jason Tatum as the MVP frontrunner. I know it's December, I know it's early, but there's MVP ladders, and so I thought I should just give my opinion. Best player on the best team, putting up the best numbers on the best team, best overall player on both sides of the ball in the NBA, in my opinion. And he just came off a performance last night. He dropped 42 and 10 on Zion and the Pelicans, showing why he is the most dominant player in the league. Zion may be next up in terms of overall dominance, but right now Giannis is the most physically dominant and imposing player in the league. And he showed it last night, 42 and 10, and was making good on his free throws too. And the Bucks did get that win. The key thing with the Bucks is going to be they need to get healthy because Chris Middleton, ever since he's come back, has been in and out of the lineup. Drew Holiday has missed a few games recently. Giannis came off a missed game against the Jazz that the Bucks won because of knee soreness. And the Bucks just got Joe Ingles back. So for them, it'll just be about keeping these guys healthy, getting that continuity ready as they advance toward the regular season. And then if you look at other teams in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics are they're not falling off, but they're in a rough stretch. They've lost a few games recently. They recently lost back-to-back games to the Orlando Magic, a team that will most certainly be a lottery team come season end. And the Celtics, Jason Tatum was considered the MVP frontrunner. I think it's Giannis now. I think the Celtics will be fine. They just need to... everyone hits rough patches in the regular season. 82 games, you're bound to hit a stretch of games where you don't play well. And so I think they'll be fine. And I still think the Bucks and the Celtics have clearly established themselves as the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference and in the NBA, to be honest. And so that's enough with the NBA. Let me know any other thoughts or questions or comments you guys have about what's going on in the NBA right now. And I want to switch over to the NFL, and I want to talk about the Cowboys because they just blew a 17-point lead to the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. They were up 27-10, and they lost that game in overtime on a Dak Prescott pick 6 by safety. I don't know his position. I'm pretty sure he's a safety. Rayshon Jenkins. He picked off Dak in overtime and took it to the house to win the game. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you're concerned because Dak seems to be your weakest link on offense right now. He's not making good decisions with the football. He's thrown 11 interceptions. He threw 10 all of last season. And I don't know what it is. Is it the injury? Is it something else? He's just not making good decisions with the football. And every interception, pretty much every pick he's thrown this year, you're looking back questioning yourself and you're like, why did you throw that ball? Just forcing plays. And they have an upcoming game on Saturday against the Philadelphia Eagles in a game. They may catch a break because it looks like Jalen Hurts is not going to play. And it looks like Jalen Hurts could potentially maybe miss the rest of the regular season with his shoulder injury, which leaves the door open for Dallas to get the NFC East and potentially move up in the seedings to get a home playoff game. And if you're Dak and you're Dallas, you have to put this rough stretch behind you and sort of look ahead because you still have a chance to position yourselves really well for the playoffs. And if you look at the standings right now, they'd be going to Tampa Bay because as it works in the NFL, if you win the division, you're guaranteed to get a home playoff game. And it looks like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South, even though it is still close between them and Carolina and Atlanta. But if you're looking at how the Cowboys have been playing, almost losing to the Texans, the worst team in the NFL, blowing a 17-point lead to the Jaguars, who are under 500, and losing that game, even though the Jaguars, to their credit, they've been playing well recently. They beat Tennessee, they beat Baltimore, they've beaten some good teams. But if you're Dallas, you can't lose that game. Those are the games that are on your schedule, and you got to be like, okay, those are gimmies. We're going to win those. And you drop games like that, and then you got to ask yourself, do you trust them to go on the road and beat Tom Brady in Tampa Bay in the playoffs? I know the Bucs haven't looked that good this year, but you can't discount Tom Brady in a playoff setting. And if Tom Brady's at home against Dallas, a team that has notoriously been known as a team that you can't really trust come postseason time, I wouldn't be shocked if Tampa Bay pulls off the upset. I'm not sure if they'd be favored in that game just because they're at home. They may be favored only because they're at home, but I think it would be an upset because Dallas is obviously a better team on paper, and they've looked better this year. Just use the eye test. Look at how both teams have been playing. Tampa Bay just got destroyed by the 49ers, and they blew a 17-point lead to the Bengals at home and lost by double digits. So, eye test and on paper, Dallas is a better team, but do you really trust them to go on the road to Tampa Bay and beat Brady? I don't know. So that's just something I wanted to talk about with the NFL. And as usual, if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and find the rest of my content linked in the description. Thanks for watching.